I got so caught up in giving you a thing, I didn't actually hit the button. So we are recording. Um, so DMs tonight, you should be playing around 6ish with Andrew. Um, please do that. Apparently, the 4 PMers played last night, and one of them didn't show, and I'll figure that out at 4 p.m. whether they got confused between Sunday and Monday or what have you. But if you don't show up to play, you can't be a DM. So you got to show up to play. Also, it's kind of jerkish to like say you're going to show up and then not show up. So please show up tonight. I mean, you get to play D&D. How hard is that? So that's done. Um, Next, I have a new quiz for this week. Um, that is due Friday at midnight. People freaked out I don't know, whatever. Quiz is due Friday at midnight. New Right Club is due Thursday at midnight. Let me go over what happened in this last week's Right Club first, and then we'll talk about this week's Right Club. Also, I'm told not to have things due at midnight because then you stay up too late and everybody's sleep schedule gets screwed. But I don't like getting it in by midnight is not. When I was in college, midnight was not particularly late. I don't know. It's has that changed? I could see 8 a.m. because then you stay all up all night to get it in by 8 a.m. So I'm never going to have something due at 8 a.m. But midnight, yeah, midnight's early. Okay, so uh, uh, I got a bunch of good ones. I got some not great ones. The thing that I want to reiterate that didn't seem to come through for everybody is that you get 3 chances. So I had a lot of people just putting down 1 or 2. A lot of people put just 1. And that's putting all your eggs in one basket. And sometimes it worked out and sometimes it didn't work out so well. So remember, you get 3 chances, and if one of them is decent, and decent is entirely judged by me, then you get full credit. If uh, 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 it appears as though you tried, um, but they're all like the 2 things that I kept coming across were word salad, which is you throw words together and hope that it works out. And you know, lots of games um are titled with just word salad. Um so and that's why you get multiple colons. So like Kingdom of Amalur Reckoning. What does any of that mean? Um well, okay, Kingdom, it's a kingdom of Amalur, I don't know, some made up word. And then Reckoning, um okay. Real why is it not just Kingdom of Amalur? Or Kingdom, right? Uh um so I got a lot of uh you throw a duty in there. You throw um a Darcy of Duty, Duty of Darcy, same thing. Uh, or North Anger, Duty, Bang Bang Pew Pew. I don't know. So word salad is not necessary. Well, it should really evoke something. So that was a problem. The other is you're really what I call on the nose, or what lots of people, lots of writers say that's too on the nose, which means when I say come up with the title of a shooter based on Jane Austen's work, you come up with the title Austen Shooter. Yep, that does it, but it's really on the nose. Austen Pew Pew, kind of on the nose. Pride and Pew Pew. Actually, I like that one. Pride and Pew Pew. I just came up with that one right now. I don't think anybody has ever come up with that one before. So you want to have some some angle you're coming at a title with, and trust me, naming things is hard. I can't. So when I worked at Iron Lore, we made a game called Titan Quest, and Titan Quest was the working title until we came up with something better. And it just, well, we're gonna every once in a while there'd be an email that went out and hey, everybody come up with names for the game, and everybody would type out a list, and then the lead designer would say, yeah, I don't like any of those. We're going to stick with Titan Quest until we come up with something better. It was published as Titan Quest, which then, so as the writer, there was one Titan. Like, the Greek mythology is that, Zeus fought the Titans, or actually the Olympians fought the Titans and imprisoned them all in a deep dark prison except for one, and I forget his name. It should come to me anyway. He is the final boss of Titan Quest, right? So you've got one Titan, and you go on a quest to get the Titan. What do you do for the DLC? Because I was hired to write the DLC, and I'm like, well, but geez Louise, we already killed the last Titan in the regular game. How can it be Titan Quest : something? So that was a problem, because by calling it Titan Quest, you got to have another Titan. So every time you got to let a Titan out somehow, which would be a problem. So what we actually did was we had, well, my original thing was that you're down, you work your way down through Hades, and at the bottom of Hades is the doorway, the prison door that is keeping all the Titans locked away, and you have to fight the final boss before the door breaks open and all the Titans come out. That was scrapped. I thought that was a pretty good, somebody else is on the Titan Quest and you're trying to stop them. And they were like, nah, it's just Hades. And I'm like, but he's not a Titan. We don't care. It's just a name. Okay, it's Hades. So Naming things is hard, I guess, is the short version of that. So okay, so good ones that I got. Let's name some good ones. Um, I liked this one because of the use of language. Mansfield colon domiciliary warfare. Domiciliary warfare, which is a fancy way of saying home. House warfare, house fighting, um, domiciliary. And honestly, I kind of would like domiciliary warfare. Um, just alone, but it doesn't. It while the language rings to Austin, um, putting in that Mansfield just kind of poop pops it over the edge. Um, maybe prejudice, domicile. Nah, I don't know. Final persuasion. Death gets the last word. Again, a little long. I could just hang with final persuasion. That feels good. Um, the Siege of Mansfield Park. Um, I like that. That's got both Shooter and Jane Austen. Mansfield Massacre, or Massacre, paying the price. Again, you guys went nuts with the colons, lots of colons. Mansfield Massacre is fine. Paying the price, okay. Sense and Senseless Violence, I like that. Halo 1813 Pride and Prejudice. That's kind of word salad. Um, uh, throw in some Halo, throw in a Jane Austen title, you're good to go. Call of Emma, and then spoiled with colon modern romance. I'm fine with Call of Emma. Scope and shootability, I like that. And then again, colon sisters take aim. We could do without the colon. Gunsfield, a price to pay. Again, Gunsfield is probably enough. And finally, Manslaughter Park, which is perfect. Manslaughter Park, Mansfield Park. You can't go wrong with those. So those were my favorites. That doesn't mean if I didn't read it aloud, you read one of yours aloud, that you did poorly. Uh, uh, Also, those of you who did do graphic designs or drawings or whatever, I love them all. Generally, when I got a graphic design one, it was just one title, and I feel bad for you, um, because you put all your eggs in one basket, and sometimes it was okay, it wasn't great. Um, so if you are going to illustrate something, and that's fine, I love it. I love to see them. Don't shortchange yourself. At the very least, type up your other two titles. Okay. And now let's go to this week's Right Club. Do Thursday, April 8th. I'm doing it at midnight. So let me share this. Share screen, share Right Club number 3. Here we are. One of the biggest things that you have to do as a writer is name things. If you're going to be employed as a narrative designer on any kind of games, everything needs a name. So in this case, I'm going to say we're making an MMO based on the American Civil War. All right. So if you've ever played an MMO, you know that MMOs are generally full of stuff, because that's kind of the core loop is I engage in some kind of conflict. Um, Basically, it's the old D&D: kill stuff, take their stuff. It makes you more powerful to kill more powerful things and take their stuff. Repeat forever. Watch the numbers go up. So you have to name some a wearable or equipable item. Remember, you have 3 tries, and only one of them needs to be be above the bar to get full credit. Um, so here, my famous name, my favorite name is a pair of boots called Sherman's Marchers. Right? It evokes both the American Civil War. Uh, yeah, 3 different items. Exactly, Alan. You can come up with 3 different items. Um, and one of them is decent, you get full credit. So Sherman's Marchers is my example. It's a pair of boots. You'll recall that well, if you know any history, um, uh, General Sherman was a Union general who famously uh, went through the South from, I believe, Mississippi uh, to the sea, which is the East Coast, burning and pillaging along the way, or at least that's the story. He famously burned Atlanta. Basically, what he did was get in the Confederate backfield and rip up their infrastructure. So destroyed um, um, railroad tracks, destroyed warehouses full of supplies, destroyed anything of value, so that the Confederacy could not use it. Um, this was known famously as Sherman's March. So, by calling a pair of boots Sherman's Marchers, I know that, well, number one, they might improve my damage if I wore those boots. Notice I haven't said anything about what they do. You can, if that will help define your stuff. Um, Shorter is always better. Here we are. Named items. So please don't just say +1 rifle of rebel shooting, right? Because that's not really, yeah, okay, that's a thing. I could just make that +2 rifle of rebel shooting, +3 rifle of rebel shooting. Um, but mm, uh, try and this is the special named item, right? Uh, I don't really care about the numbers. The other thing that Sherman's Marchers might do is make you move faster, right? I leave these things so writers don't come up with mechanics, writers come up with names. Uh, I was once asked, "Hey, we need 50 names for hats," and I had to come up with 50 names for hats. Not like the pluses or whatever, just hat names. What are, so chapeau, um, helmet, uh, and basically I lived in the thesaurus. Um, when I got to do rag, they were like, "Yeah, it's ancient Greece. We can't really use do rag." Um, so uh, uh, you're supposed to be the person who knows words. Use your word stuff, right? So that is Right Club 3. Um, the other reading quiz is up. It's due Friday at midnight. This time there is a Tacoma question. Nothing is ever wasted. You played Tacoma. Um, hopefully. If not, better play Tacoma. There are questions from Tacoma, or a question from Tacoma. There's a question. So the other thing for Thursday, uh I have a game for you to play. It's called Facade. You can download it here. I'm not breaking any laws. It was given away free. Um, and I recognize that it is a 20-year-old game. But as early as last year, it was working fine in Windows 10. Um, it it can take as little as 30 seconds to play. Um, a really good run is maybe 20 minutes, a half hour. So, um, yeah, melon. So go grab Facade, give it a play. Um, and I haven't put it up yet, but I've got another one for you to play. I usually have another one, um, but I've decided it's misogynistic and I don't want to inflict it on students anymore. Um, so I'm going to try something else that's more like a visual novel. Um, and I think, let me just check. Uh, here we go. Does it cost money? Is the question. Does it cost money? Um, I don't think it does cost money. Steam powered. I think it's free. No, it costs $3. I'm sorry. It costs $3. Cost of cup of coffee. So I'm gonna put it up, but here I'll throw it in the thing. For Friday, give this a play. It's called, oh, you can see, One Night Stand. $3. You can see it. One Night Stand. It is a visual novel, I guess. Yeah, indie visual novel. Choices matter. Casual. And again, it's 5 years old at this point. Wow. So I'm old. So just be aware that here's the link to it. Control V. Give that a play for Friday. And we'll talk about the difference between Facade and a visual novel. Maybe there is no difference. But I figure we should give it a try. And this is an award-winning game. Won, what did it win? Let's see. I know it won like Indie Game Award, Independent Games Festival finalist. Okay. So anyway, it's a very short game. You can probably get through it in like 10 minutes. The whole point is to see the various endings. And I haven't seen all of them. I will also be streaming this on Wednesday at 3. And I'll put up a notice in the Discords to talk about that. To the link to come watch me play if you really want. I think you'll all be better off playing it yourself, but watch an old dude play the game about a one night stand, that's not awkward at all. Okay. Anything else? Oh, yes, one other thing. So starting, well, I'll wait till tomorrow for it because you can't do it yet. Okay, I'll wait till tomorrow for that one. And tomorrow will be all about organizing Dungeons and Dragons, because it's a little harder to organize online than just um, in the middle of a classroom. You just run to a corner and you're in a group. So anything else? Questions? Melon, yes. Decorating, 3 tries, 3 different times. So D&D, very quickly. Remember how, did I talk about during 30 Flights of Loving, breaking a story? That is what you show and what you don't show, what scenes you write, and what scenes you don't. So in 30 Flights, we see everything but the heist. Another way of breaking a story is, well, in this case, in Dungeons and Dragons. And by the way, you guys, tonight, your hero's journey story is due at midnight, right? Everybody's ready with that. You've contacted your partner and you're writing together. Honestly, I didn't get through the character sheets, but I assume they're there, because you can't do the rest of the story without the characters. Lots of things do. Lots of little boop, 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 keep you interested. Um, so, one of the other ways to break a story is through space. So, um, what we do is, instead of uh, telling the story from scene to scene, moving from uh, moving the actors from uh, time to time, and having the audience watch either this square on film or theater space. um, we have the audience move through space, and in uh, in theater, I guess, these are called immersive shows, immersive theater. um, the most famous of which is now like 15 years old, started in Cambridge, or actually in Brookline, uh, uh, put together by a company named Punch Drunk and the American Repertory Theater. They took over an old textile mill in Brookline, um, and basically converted the whole big building into, each room was a different place where the story was told. Um, and they moved it to New York. They opened one in London. Basically, they take over a whole building and renovate the building. Um, and the one in New York that I saw is 5 floors. It's called, not Punch Drunk. Now I'm blanking on the name of the show. Oh, um, there's the mask for it. Oh my God, what is going on? Um, it'll come to me. Punch Drunk. Punch Drunk Theater. Sleep No More. Thank you. It's a show called Sleep No More. And essentially, it is 5 floors, many, many rooms, and I don't know, 20 actors. Um, and the idea is that uh, at the beginning of the evening, they have an elevator. Um, and this is pre-COVID, obviously, because it wouldn't work now. I don't know what they're going to do when theaters open back up, because I can't imagine doing this at this point. I guess once we're all vaccinated, I don't know. I guess you'd wear a mask because you have to wear them anyway. So you're given a playing card, and that's how they divide you into groups. And basically, they say all aces go to the elevator, and they put all the aces in the elevator, and then they open to a random floor, and they say everybody out, and then they come back and they say all twos, and they go to a different floor, and everybody get it out, and they basically scatter the audience across the 5 floors, and it's dark, and you go wandering away, and they tell you, don't, if you came with somebody, assume that they are lost to you for the rest of the night until the show's over. And so you go wandering into the darkness, you find rooms, and it's like an RPG, because there are cabinets, there are drawers, and you can look in anything. There are letters, there are books. You can pick up anything and read anything. You can be that in real life, that murder hobo D&D person who just opens up everything, and if there's anything of value, you can put it in your pocket, although they tell you not to, and if they see you, they will eject you. The idea is you come away with information, but the other thing is you wander into a room and 2 actors are having a scene, and something happens between those 2 actors, and they have some sort of conflict, or maybe one actor, at one point, one actor is crying over his dead child, and he wraps it up, and then he wanders out of the room where he has wrapped up his dead child, and lo and behold, a couple of rooms away, you're in this way open space, and there's wind playing, and the floor is now covered in dirt, and he buries the child in the dirt, and things happen. Many times, 2 actors will have a scene together, and then one will go through that door and one will go through that door. And one of the reasons why they tell you, just right off being with anybody, is those actors move fast, and it's dark. And if you take the time to say, do you want to follow the guy with the red hair, or the blonde? By the time you decide, you will have lost them forever. So whereas it's much easier as a single person to go, redhead guy, I'm following, and follow them through their story from room to room. And once again, this is very D&D like, because the story is told through spaces, and each space is different, and spaces are occupied by characters, and it could be, the difference is that there are ways for D&D characters to interact with the characters there, whereas one of the things in Sleep No More is they give everyone in the audience a mask. And so you have to wear this mask while you're in there. And in fact, I will get it. So the entire audience looks like this. It's a problem for people with glasses because these masks are not designed for people with glasses. But if you have a crowd of people standing around the edges of a room like this, and we don't talk, and if an actor has to walk by, they just kind of push you out of the way gently. They usually put their hand and go like this, and you move because you're a reasonable person. Suddenly, the rest of us, the audience, we can see each other, right? And they're ignoring us. It's like they can't see us. And holy jamoli, we're all ghosts. Am I a ghost? I feel like a ghost. So without, I'm going to sneeze now. Sorry about that. I can put my glasses back on. So what you have, the construct of this show is that the audience are ghosts watching the real people act out or go through their lives, and we can't affect anything and they can't affect us. And it works. It's a bunch of ghosts. I'm a ghost. I look vaguely ominous, don't I? If you saw me at night in a very dark room, wouldn't you be scared? I'd be scared. Anyway, but they have broken up the story in time and in space, right? Because an evening show takes 3 hours, but in the course of that 3 hours, they run the entire show twice. So if you missed, because you can't be everywhere, you can't possibly see everything, right? Which is an interesting thing about RPGs, is there's often the feeling that everything is frozen in time until you arrive, right? That like you start out as first level. If you've ever played an RPG in the computer or in real life, what is that? You start out as first level, and the big bad evil guy, or the BBEG, is level 30, bruh, sitting on their throne, taking over the world, right? But somehow you always catch up. What was that big baddie, the BBEG, doing? Or the Foozle? I like the Foozle also. What was the Foozle doing while you were becoming a super awesome whatever you are, wizard, fighter, whatever? They were sitting on their throne waiting for you to get big enough to go fight them. That seems weird. Wouldn't it have been easier for them to say, that fifth level guy or woman is looking kind of threatening. Let's kill them now before they're equal to me. Smite. Done. Gone. Well, we assume that they're doing there's a steady stream of level 30 people coming at them, and you're just the latest in the level 30 because when you get there. Is that reasonable? I don't know. So, okay, so we break the story in space rather than in time. Um, and that's one of the things you're going to have to do when you um, create your own D&D adventure. Um, you're going to have to um, figure out what is the environment, um, who lives there, um, what do they do when they're not standing guarding a chest, um, what time is the D&D session? It's not listed on the email and I can't remember the time at all. 6 p.m. At least that's what I said. It's up to Andrew. Maybe you could shoot Andrew an email back and say, "Hey, Andrew, um, it's 6 p.m., right?" That's what I told Andrew to do, but I again left it up to all of you. So, um, can you tell a story when you no longer have control of the main character? Correct, Alan. The D&D session tonight is just for people who want to become DMs, or who are DMs. They know who they are. I took their email addresses on Friday. Uh, Tomorrow, everyone else will get a DM group, okay, or we'll get a D&D group. So, okay, I'm beating this dead horse. Breaking a story into spaces rather than scenes, because if we don't have control of our main character, of our protagonists anymore, and they can go anywhere, then can we tell a story out of order? Um, or do we have to put some kind of gates in? Uh, uh, you can't open this door until you find the key. Hey, that's Doom, right? You can run around in this section, but you can't open the door to the next section until you found the red key, right? Where's the red key? On the hardest monster in this section that you won't be able to kill until you've killed all the other monsters, right? Um, that's a gate. And we use that in stories all the time so that we know that uh, scene one comes before scene two. Um, it becomes harder when you say, well, here's scene 1 through 5. You might do scene 5 first. You might do scene 1 first. You might do scene 3 first. We don't know. You're going to go whichever way you want to go. And uh, you're going to hit them all. Or maybe you'll only hit scene 3 and scene 5, and then you'll get to go to scene 6. But maybe scene 6, you could skip it. So then you have to say, okay, uh, scene 1 through 4 is, you could do some or none or all, but everyone does scene 5. Um, and once you do scene 5, you can do scene 6 through 9, or not at all, and just proceed directly to scene 10. Doesn't that sound an awful lot like Skyrim, where there's all sorts of side stuff you do? And the main quest is scene 5, scene 10, scene 15. Um, and you go play in between those all you want. Okay, I've been going late since this class started, so I'm gonna let you go early today. um, Tomorrow we'll talk about authorial um, contracts, so check out the Glassner on authorial contracts. um, Actually, if we have time, we'll talk about. Yeah, we will. Um, and we'll go from there. So DMs play tonight. Everybody else get the reading in, go play games. And we'll go from there. Have a happy Monday, everybody.